welcome to Open, everyone. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host, Café con Leche for the next hour. Always inviting you to get social with us online, that's right. Tweet us and follow us on Instagram at Bronxnet TV or like us on Facebook at Open Bronxnet Television. And of course, don't forget, while you're there, follow moi on Twitter, FB, Instagram, Insta Stories, LinkedIn, Snapchat at Rhina Valentin. All right, so February is Black History Month, and it's also American Heart Month. So in an effort to raise awareness, we are opening today's show with information to help people live healthy lives. According to the CDC, heart disease is the leading cause of death between men and women in the United States. And, well, the good news is that it can be prevented by making healthy choices. And joining us to give us some preventative tips, we welcome Mount Sinai Cardiologist Amy Kontorovich. I think I got that right. And activist and American Heart Association volunteer Clarisa Alayeto. Did I get that right, doctor?
Very close.
Very close? All right, I'm going to get it right by the time this segment is over. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you
And thank you for the work that you're doing. And I really want to open up with just sharing a little background on the American Heart Association, because I don't really think that people are aware that it's like a volunteer-based agency. So a lot of people are really just dedicating their time to offer their services for free.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a volunteer with the American Heart Association, and after starting my journey, I learned that that's the best way to go out into the community and partner up with an organization that's working to keep communities healthy, and so definitely getting involved, and it's been a journey with them.
And I know that you're an activist, and so what inspired you to become part of the American Heart Association?
So my own journey, just being able to, I was diagnosed with diabetes, being able to reverse that, eat healthy, exercise, and then partnering up with an organization. I wanted to get my message out to the community growing up in the South Bronx. I wanted to get my message out. So connecting with the American Heart Association gave me that platform to be able to do more outreach in the community.
That's wonderful. It's wonderful to pass it forward. And so Dr. Let's see, I'm going to get it right. Kontorovich.
Yep.
Kontorovich?
Kontorovich.
Dr. Kontorovich. I'm so sorry. Does your name get messed up a lot?
It does.
It does. It does. It's like because it's got an extra syllable in there, but I don't mean to offend, doctor. So thank you so much for the work that you do, and also just for your contribution to the American Heart Association, because you're a doctor at Mount Sinai, right? And so you're a cardiologist, so it's your field. So what could you share with people, especially her referencing diabetes? How is diabetes associated with heart disease?
So as you said, heart disease is a really big deal in this country, and more than 120 million Americans actually have heart disease and may not know it. Diabetes is what we consider a risk factor for heart disease. It means it's something that makes it more likely that you'll develop conditions like heart attack or stroke. So diabetes is a really important focus, if you have it, to talk to your doctor about controlling it with lifestyle and medications, or if you don't have it, but you're at risk for it, making sure that you don't develop it.
So what are the statistics when it comes to people of color?
So African American and Hispanic American populations are more vulnerable to developing diabetes, and then the likelihood that they'll have complications are higher. So the rates of heart attack and stroke are higher in those groups as well.
And in your opinion, do you find that people come to you when it's too late versus having had an opportunity to, I mean, obviously you're a doctor, so you're there diagnosing, but it's just a mindset. It's just, and I'm hoping that by the time this segment is over, we can maybe just shift some habits and or considerations into a way of living. And so what could people do to not allow it to get to the point where they're either having a stroke or high blood pressure, right? Because it starts there, right?
Right. So 80% of heart disease is actually preventable. So if you think about that statistic, it's very powerful. And someone like Clarisa, who took her risk factors seriously, highlights just how important that journey is and how you can make important changes and reverse the course. We even believe that starting in children between age 3 to 5 is the time to start with healthy lifestyle habits like moving, exercise, getting away from the screens, getting away from the tablets and the TVs, and controlling your diet, avoiding sugary items and high salt items.
And so, Clarisa, what have you done, or what have you implemented in your life to reverse your risk?
Yeah, I definitely began exercising. The first thing I did, I tried to recognize where the sugar was coming from, and it was coming from soda and juice. So I eliminated soda, juice, and all sugar beverages from my diet and just started drinking water, and that made a huge difference.
And it's so simple, right?
Yes.
And it probably saves you more money.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, for our people out there, it's
Right.
like, not only are we being health
Right.
conscious, we're being financially conscious as well.
Absolutely.
And yes, and you were going to say, Doctor?
One of the suggestions that I sometimes give patients if they really like soda is to try drinking seltzer water with lemon or other citrus squeezed into it.
Right,
Right.
because it's got that fuzz,
Yeah.
right? So it's kind of like a treat from water. It's like, oh, drink water, and then, as a treat,
Right.
you have seltzer water or club soda, right?
Right.
And so, with the American Heart Association and with it being American Heart Month, right? Or it's Heart Month, not just American, it's Heart Month. How do you guys go out and just spread the message? And again, I'm referencing the preventative aspect of it because I'm sure maybe you have pop-ups where you have people doing blood pressure. And for me, on a personal note, just representing a community of color, I just find it like it's just challenging for me to embrace and accept the fact that everybody within my community is always at that point where they have to be on some kind of medication, and instead of just kind of taking those steps and knowing that if you're already getting signs, all you got to do is shift a mindset. So how do we assist people with just not being resigned about their way of being, right? It's like, it is what it is. And it's like, no, it doesn't have to be. I mean, you have until the end, right?
Yeah.
Well, one important thing is to talk to your family members and to observe your family members because family history is another risk factor for heart disease. So if you've seen someone that's close to you who has suffered with heart disease, then it's important to recognize that puts you at risk as well. And you need to talk to your doctor about that information. Sometimes just getting to the doctor's office is the first step in making things right. But the other extremely important thing is if you're a smoker, quit, and knowing that women and African Americans have a harder time quitting and more likely to relapse. So it's just important to embrace that information and be prepared and continue trying to quit smoking if you are a smoker.
Okay, and so let's just really quickly talk about how the smoking affects the heart, right? Because one would think it only affects the lungs, right? But how does it impact the heart?
Right. Smoking is a huge risk factor for creating cholesterol plaques in the heart arteries, and that can lead to stroke, it can lead to heart failure, and it can lead to heart attacks. So smoking is the #1 reversible risk factor.
Thank you for sharing that. And so as a representative of the American Heart Association and working within the community, like what are you doing and who are you reaching out to? Like is there a specific age range that you're working with?
So my passion, because I grew up in public housing, my passion is to work with the community of NYCHA. And so we've been trying to, so I have a fitness class it's a free fitness class in the community that I facilitate with a group of women who are consistent, who are trying to make these changes, who have had diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and now are seeing just through exercise and eating correctly and just being consistent with their health, have been seeing changes. Connecting with the American Heart Association to have these health fairs in the community so that they're aware, building education around, how we should be eating, what we should be eating, how much exercise we should be doing. So those are the things that we're trying to do with the American Heart Association.
No, I love that
and
you
myself.
brought up NYCHA too.
Absolutely.
Because,
Absolutely.
they need a lot of light right now.
Absolutely.
And the fact that you're able to implement these programs to kind of keep them in some kind of light is really good.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Yeah.
And Doctor, before we go, what are your last words or that you'd like to share with any of our viewers who are in denial about conditions?
Well, Clarissa's program sounds fantastic, and anything you can do to get moving is encouraged. Even if you can do 10-minute bursts of exercise, that adds up. But ideally, we would love for everybody to be doing 30 minutes of movement every day.
I love that. So where can people join in on your programs?
Definitely. So you can definitely join every Monday at 6:30. We're at Patterson Community Center, at Patterson Houses in the South Bronx, and we welcome everyone.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here,
Thank
Clarisa.
you so much.
And I called you doctor because I didn't want to mess it up, and I'm going to try one more time. Dr. Kontorovich.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. You guys, for more information regarding heart disease and prevention, please visit heart.org. We have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll learn about the essence of Black History Month through an art exhibit. Don't go anywhere.